Electric Fire Book 2, Hidden Chains, Chapter 4.
I listened to Stone, showing no fear knowing this human wasn't going to harm me. At least not at the moment. Being connected to a machine was frightening, but it seems it was giving me back my energy. I now know why those rings on my wrists were important. But now I come to the question, where are they? I didn't speak as I watched the machine. There wasn't much I could do. Stone left the room probably to get a cup of coffee. While he was away, I was beginning to daydream. It seemed memories were coming back to me. I knew this wasn't the first time I'd been connected to a machine. I gained back terrible memories of Maria's grandfather running tests and experiments on me. Luckily for me, Stone interrupted my thoughts. He set a mug on a table. I took notice of the steam coming out of it. Then Stone gently lifted me up so I could sit. The machine was mainly connected to me by my wrists along with my legs. Those straps were above my ankles. Wires were attached to my stomach as well. I was basically lying on the table. There was a machine above me. That's what I was staring at. It seemed to be unfinished. I felt like it was supposed to be sealed off. I mean, maybe by some glass doors being around it. Stone then handed me the mug. He is set on the table.
It's coffee. Just thought I'd offer you some.
I smiled a little and held the mug in my gloved hands. I could feel the warmth of the mug. Its contents were still hot. It was still steaming as well. I took a small whiff to see what it smelled like. It was definitely a strong smell, but it smelled good too. Thank you, Stone. He nodded.
It was one of Robotnik's favorites. It has steamed Austrian goat milk in it.
I waited a few minutes before the drink cooled down so I could take a sip of it. I'll admit it was pretty tasty, definitely flavorful.
Shadow, I was wondering if you'd like to help me. I mean, get Robotnik back. It's just that I'm worried about him.
I thought about it for a bit. This guy needed my help. He's helped me out, so I might as well return the favor. Alright, I'll help you. But please promise me you won't run any experiments on me. Stone seemed shocked, but he agreed to my term. I guess the memory of Gerald was too much for me after I remembered what had occurred. But I wasn't sure as to why he ran those kinds of tests.
Don't worry, I wouldn't experiment on you. I'll even talk to the doctor about it too when he gets back. Knowing him, he'll probably want to.
I nodded. It was long before Stone turned the machine off and unhooked me from it.
Well, your energy should be back. I could probably make you something to keep your energy from being drained for now.
I shook my head. I believe the place I was at before this has some extra limiters. With the energy I have now, I could probably teleport there and back without any troubles. Stone wasn't too sure about the idea, but he let me go. It wasn't hard to find the place. I knew where I had come from, an arc in space. I was there in a flash, but in the worst part of the arc from what I remember, the lab. While I was looking through drawers and cabinets, I came across 2 rings, the last ones of the inhibitors. But there was a third one, smaller than the inhibitors, a ring similar to the one Stone had. I wondered how it ended up in the lab. It was very dusty. With 2 portal rings, I can easily find Robotnik and reunite him with Stone. I quickly put the inhibitors on my wrists. They weren't like my other ones. These were probably prototypes. I felt that they weren't going to last too long. But now they'll work. I just can't use too much of my energy. They should last at least until I get my real ones back. I decided to take back some of the papers that were left behind on the Ark. I needed to gain my memory back, even the bad ones. I was gone in a flash, papers and the portal ring in hand. I was back with Stone. He was still where he had been when I left. This time though, he had a mug in his hand. He probably got himself some coffee while I was away. I just set the ring down on the table. Stone watched as I sat back down near the machine. I set the papers beside me. He walked to the ring, and he seemed overjoyed to see that I came across another one. He then got out his own out of his pant pocket to compare the two rings.
All right, we can get Robotnik back now.
He exclaimed in excitement. He almost dropped his mug in the process. Yeah, it could take days to find him though, if I'm going by myself. Well, I'll need to prepare for the journey. Stone nodded and thought for a bit.
True, we don't know how big the planet is. Robotnik has been there for quite some time. I wouldn't doubt if he lost his mind a bit. The thing is, Robotnik was my first friend since I joined the agency, and well, I was the first to get along with him. He barely took a chance on being friends with anyone else, other than machines, that is.
I couldn't help but feel bad for Stone. I knew what it was like to lose a friend. I'll find him, Stone, I promise. Robotnik isn't your only friend anymore. You have me now. I'm glad you were the one that found me. I smiled a bit before embracing Stone gently, hugging him. I couldn't let him down. I knew I needed to find this friend. I wasn't going to stop looking until he was found.